Vittoria Trattoria, downtown. Elijah opened the door for Esther. He pulled out the chair for her. They sat face to face. This was different. They were used to side-by-side conversation because they were always in the car. This was different. A bubble formed around them. Their two guardian angels hovered over them, the tips of their wings often touching. Face to face, it was pleasant for them to look into each other's eyes. Laughter, silence, tears, concern, compassion. They all gushed out that evening like the waters of Trevi's fountain. There was one thing that gushed out the most powerfully: love. Time, when experienced through the analytical mind, is experienced as a sequence of events. Chronos. Time is death. Time is the enemy. Time that must end. But Elijah and Esther were not experiencing time as Chronos. They entered into what is called Kairos. Time is life. Time is an upward spiral. Presence. Here. Now. Kingdom time. Elijah's heart was beginning to open up. Esther had that effect on him. Esther spoke to him about her childhood. She spoke to him of her memories of Egypt. She spoke to him about flowers. She spoke about her parents. This made Elijah realize how poorly he treated George and Sally. And at the same time, he wished that his parents were more like Helen and Mina. He understood where Esther came from. She spoke to him about Maluka and Marmina. She spoke to him about Mama. She didn't tell him about her dream. Heaven hadn't given her permission to share. Something happened inside Elijah as she spoke about Mama. A pain that ached his heart seized him. It's not like I believe in you, Jesus. Nor do I plan on believing in you. He didn't realize that by virtue of communicating with him, he had in fact acknowledged his existence. As for you, Mama, oh, how I wish you did exist. But I just can't believe in fairy tales. How can Esther speak so confidently? How can she speak with such certainty? The walls that he had built up around his heart, through years of academia, years of sin, years of luxurious living, formed in him a real blockage. For now, he just enjoyed being around Esther. The night eventually came to an end. 3 hours and 47 minutes of Chronos, to be exact. An eternity in Kairos, to be even more exact. Appetizers, entrees, desserts. They were the accidentals of the evening. The main course was the care and love they had for each other. But unlike Martina, and unlike Mary, Elijah was terrified of approaching Esther physically. He didn't even dare to reach out for her hand, or even consider trying to give her a small kiss on the cheek. She, like the Garden of Eden, had angels with flaming swords protecting her. He dared not approach. There was an unspoken understanding. And yet, they had arrived at the restaurant as friends and left something a lot more akin to soulmates. Their souls were somehow being knit together. Thank you, Elijah, for this evening. Thank you. I am not very good with my words, but Elijah, you don't need to say anything. I understand. I feel the same way. As they were walking back to Elijah's car, both lost in their own thoughts and feelings, the silence was shattered by a deep voice yelling, "Esther, ma'am." They both turned and found a homeless man running towards them. He was a very big man. Tall. Very tall. Instantly, Elijah felt threatened. He looked down on homeless people as leeches in society. He was about to tell the man to back off, and then all of a sudden it hit him. He called her by her name. He looked at her and was about to tell her to be careful, but she had already started to run in his direction. "Animal, what are you doing out so late?" She gave the man a big hug. Elijah was stunned. Eyes bugging out. Mouth opened. "Well, I just wanted to make sure you were okay yourself, Esther, ma'am." "I am fine. I am more than fine. This is my good friend Elijah. Pleased to meet you, sir. Hope you are taking good care of our Esther, ma'am. She's special to us, you know. She's very special." Elijah could not speak. He simply nodded. That night when Elijah got home, he could not sleep the whole night. What was happening to him? Who is this Esther, ma'am, who stole his heart, and the hearts of all those who met her? Chapter 30. Gregory felt like he had been thrown by the wayside. But being the good friend that he was truly happy for Elijah. He saw in him what felt like the beginning of a great transformation. He was far more joyful. He was in a better mood. He was way more willing to concede in arguments and discussions. There was an edge that was somehow magically being smoothed out. He knew that Esther was the cause. It was the end of the summer, and Elijah and Esther had spent every day together. Literally, every day. That is, Every day after he finished his bar exam in June, they went for walks. They went biking. They had picnics. Elijah joined her at church often. His mom couldn't be happier. The Tatas and mothers of other single young men were devastated. What Sally felt was beyond words. She lit candles in front of Abu Sufyan Saikin in order to thank him for bringing Esther into Elijah's life. Elijah was quiet at church. He didn't know how to be. It was strange for him, but he showed up. It was the last week of August, and Gregory threw a question at Elijah that he was not ready for. So, you two are inseparable. So when are you going to pop the big question? What question, Gregory? You're kidding, right? A question. We don't even hold hands yet, and you want me to propose? How does that make sense? Are you telling me you aren't absolutely in love with her? Of course I am. But marriage? Gregory had planted a seed in Elijah's mind. A seed that would take almost a year to come to life. Chapter 31. Elijah's life plan wasn't completely off course. Sure, he did his bar exam 6 months later than he expected. Sure, he didn't move to downtown Toronto. Sure, he wasn't working in a big Bay Street law firm. But he was now a full-fledged lawyer. He worked long hours. But thanks to Gregory, he worked with a purpose. He was saving for the ring. And so he labored and labored. He saved and saved. Cronus somehow crept into the hearts and minds of humanity in that first year of the new millennia. Time seemed to fly by. It's like there was no holding it back. September to December flew by, and Elijah worked and worked. January 2001, Elijah went to Montreal to meet Esther's family. Mina and Helen were so loving. They welcomed him into their home as their own son. Of course, they were concerned about Elijah's resistance to God, but they trusted Esther's judgment. If this was the boy that Esther was bringing home, they knew that there must have been so much prayer involved. Elijah admired how Esther did not change one bit while she was at home. She had the strange ability of being the same person all the time. He thought of how much he changes around his parents. Did he ever admire her and love her? Tante Helen made all the typical Christmas feast food for them. They prayed. They ate. They talked all night. It was so peaceful. Elijah felt honored that they were going to be his family. Although it was his first time meeting them, he went aside and spoke to Uncle Mina. I want you to know, Uncle, that I only have honorable intentions towards your daughter. I love her very much. I can tell. I can also tell that she loves you very much too. I know that I don't deserve her. Elijah was beginning to get emotional. He was nervous. He didn't know how to bring it up. So he decided to just speak frankly and get straight to the point. Uncle, I am planning on proposing to Esther next August. I am almost done saving for the ring. And to be honest, there is no one in the world I would rather be with. I know it's the first time that we meet, but I wanted to be honest with you and let you know my intentions. Elijah, it is very honorable of you to speak so frankly with me. Of course you have my blessing. Can we pray and commit this all to the Lord? Elijah bowed awkwardly and shut his eyes. Lord Jesus, I commit into your beautiful hands the lives of these two young people. Both Elijah and Esther are your precious children. You love them both more than we can ever understand. And so I trust in your will in both their lives. I ask you to protect them. I ask you to bless them and to lead them into a life of consecration to you and your kingdom. We love you, Habibi Yasid 3. And hear us when we pray with thanksgiving. Our Father, who art in heaven. Elijah found himself bowing his head, closing his eyes and praying. He tried not to think too much about it. He did feel some form of peace. Chapter 32. The ring was purchased. The proposal was planned. He was ready. It was terribly difficult to spend the following months not sharing everything he was planning for the proposal with Esther. One day, Esther decided to pop her own question to Elijah. So Elijah, what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid of committing your life to God? Elijah was caught off guard, but fear was exactly what he felt. Well, not sure where this is coming from. I mean, I have been coming to church with you whenever you ask me. Whenever you pray, I bow my head and follow along. When you share scripture passages with me, I sincerely listen and try to take it in. That's not what I am asking. I am asking you why you are hesitant to give yourself completely to God. For starters, I am not even sure He is there. But let's just say He is there. I have read the New Testament many times. He promises tribulations, suffering, a cross, and ultimately calls us to die. Yes, in order that we may truly live. Don't you see, Elijah? We can only live and experience true freedom when we surrender to Him. How can you say freedom and surrender in the same sentence? Don't you hear yourself? Elijah was terrified. This felt like their first argument. Esther was more assertive than she's ever been. And yet there was absolutely no hint of violence in her tone. She just spoke of the deepest and dearest places of her heart. Elijah, I want to share everything with you. Everything. You have to understand, Jesus will always be number one in my life. Elijah wanted to be first in her heart. He was afraid. He hated not being in control. He hated the thought of depending on someone else to have control of his life. He remained quiet. However, it was his great love for Esther that kept him open. He had been running from God, running from his childhood, running from heaven. He looked at her. He could tell she had more to tell him. So he put his head down. He could have never expected what she was going to say next. Elijah, my love, look at me. I want you to know that God sees you and knows that you belong to Him. You are one of them. Elijah, you belong to heaven. Uncle Ansi, how could she possibly know what Uncle Ansi had told him? Esther was just repeating the truth that she had received from Baba Kirillos. Elijah, don't spend too much time running. Remember, you are one of them. Heaven is waiting. Those last words hit Elijah like a ton of bricks. He was 17 again. He was walking down the street. He was stumbling from his first time smoking up. A taxi car pulls up in his mind. He could see the street light. He could see Uncle Ansi. His last words, don't spend too much time running. Remember, you are one of us. Heaven is waiting. Chapter 33. The following weeks, leading up to the proposal in August of 2001, were heaven for Esther. Her Elijah, her beautiful lotus, was opening up to his maker. He was so tender. She wasn't sure what made him open up so much, but she knew it was genuine. He never told her about Uncle Ansi. They prayed together. They talked about everything spiritual. Many times Elijah found himself falling short of Esther's spiritual stature. He wondered why she had chosen him. It was a mystery, something of the grace of God. It was easy for him to give thanks to God when it came to Esther. Although Elijah was opening up to God, he was still just an idea to him. But at least he was opening up. Elijah loved reading songs of Solomon with Esther. His background in English and his deep love for poetry made him love reading it with her. He couldn't believe this stuff was in the Bible. She would share with him how she saw the love of God for them, even when we didn't deserve it. I am dark but lovely. Songs 1:5. Oh, how he could relate to that verse. That was the summary of his feelings towards God and towards Esther simultaneously. He loved how the Shulamite, when deprived of her beloved, went out barefoot, without a veil, running into the streets seeking the one she loved. That was good imagery, he thought. He loved how she had become love-sick and how crazy one becomes for love. Esther loved this and understood it deeply. She knew that the human soul should hold nothing back from the pursuit of their love for God. Esther herself was blooming in a completely new way. She still couldn't understand why these things were happening, but somehow the veil between heaven and earth was slowly, but surely, being removed from her eyes. She began seeing angels and different saints at different times and in different places. Maluka would visit. Marmina would visit. Mama would visit. She didn't understand the sudden outpouring of grace and visitation from heaven. How could she have known? In the end, heaven always remains a mystery. She could not tell Elijah about these visitations, as he would think that she was hallucinating or schizophrenic. She was just getting closer to heaven. That's all. Chapter 34. Wednesday, August 22nd, 2001, the Feast of St. Mary. Elijah hadn't slept since Monday night. He couldn't. He was so nervous. What are you so nervous about, Elijah? You love her more than yourself. What if she says no? Elijah was most concerned about her reaction because deep down inside, he felt like she should say no. He couldn't believe or accept that she, Esther, the most beautiful human being in the world, should say yes to him. It felt upside down. He kept going through the proposal in his mind all of Tuesday, and Tuesday evening, and Tuesday night till he left his place in the morning for early liturgy. He had planned a whole day with Esther. He told her that he had a day off on Wednesday, and not to plan anything because he wanted to spend the entire day with her. She was clueless. They stood together for liturgy. He never did that. But that day, he felt compelled to stand next to her, even if he would get in trouble by Abuna. It was worth it. He prayed the whole liturgy for one thing, and one thing alone, that she would say yes. He had imagined every moment of this day for over 3 months. His plans became more and more intricate, and then finally one day in mid-July, he decided to just focus on Esther and think of what she would want her proposal to be. This changed everything. Elijah, for the first time since he was in grade 7, actually loved someone more than himself. It really has nothing to do with you, Elijah. Nothing. Mama, happy feast. Can you please cover me with your veil today? It's a special day. I know I haven't been a good person over the last while. Okay, for the last 15 years. And even now I am struggling. But could you please be with me today? Thanks, Mama. After communion, Elijah grabbed the blessed bread from Aboun and avoided eye contact with him. He did the classic grab and go. This was a classic move done by many when they were avoiding questions about being late, or how long it's been since their last confession, or worse, if they were going to be pushed into teaching Sunday school. This time, Elijah wanted to avoid being questioned about standing on the girl's side. It worked. Esther, on the other hand, felt like Elijah was not acting like himself. They hadn't even spoken, and she could feel like he was nervous about something. They got into the car. Of course, Elijah opened the door for her. He was giddy. What's going on? Elijah, you are not acting normally. What? Can a man be excited to spend a whole day with his beloved? Esther smiled. She knew he was referencing the Song of Solomon when he called her that. Okay, beloved of mine, what are we doing today? Elijah, still parked at church, smiled and handed Esther a card. On it was written the number 1. It was fancy. Esther also noticed the hand-drawn lotus flower on the back of the envelope acting as a seal. She smiled. She felt so loved. I thought you would never ask. I have planned every moment of this day together. All you have to do is enjoy it. Now open the card. It was a hand-drawn card of a basket with 5 loaves and 2 fish. Elijah was so talented. She opened the card and it read, My dearest Esther, I am so in love with you. I am so excited to spend the day with you. Today is about being together, the 3 of us. That's right, Jesus, you and me. Our theme for the day is love. Just love. I have planned for us to spend a day going deeper in our love for each other. First things first. Let's eat. Happy Mama's feast. And as we have been fasting for the last 2 weeks, today we feast. We are going to a little breakfast place just outside of the city. You are going to love it. While we are driving, I thought it would be nice if you could read for us the first chapter of Songs of Solomon. Love. You're dark but lovely, Elijah. Asterisk, just a quick note. If thoughts of whether it was right or wrong for Elijah and Esther to eat non-fasting foods on St. Mary's feast because it was a Wednesday, it may be better to just close the book and put it aside. Elijah's story is not for the faint of heart or the strong in judgment. 4. How can the friends of the groom fast when the bridegroom is in their midst? Oh, and how he was in their midst. Esther was so deeply touched by all the love that Elijah had just poured on her. From the details of the handcrafted card to the special message he wrote for her. But the one thing that stood out for her was that Elijah was willingly and honestly involving the Lord in their relationship. Oh, how her heart exploded with light and joy at the growth she was seeing in Elijah. Elijah. That's all she could say. A tear crept out of her eye as she smiled. Elijah was happy. Oh, Esther, you have no idea what I am planning for you. Elijah thought, okay, take out your Bible and read chapter 1 while I drive us there. Esther read. At times she would choke up, and when she would compose herself, she would continue reading. She burst out laughing at verse 7. Tell me, O you whom I love, where you feed your flock. So, where are we going to eat? Elijah loved her playfulness. Esther, you're going to have to wait and see. They arrived at the miller's oven in Manotick. It is a quaint little tea house where breakfast is served hot and fresh. They had breakfast together. Tea, scones, eggs, sausages, chocolate croissants. They had a beautiful time. Elijah took the time to ask Esther many questions. What is the one thing you think I should improve on? Oh, Elijah, why do you ask me such questions? Behold, you are perfect, my love. She was quoting Songs of Solomon again. That is what happens to those who immerse themselves in scriptures. I am serious, Esther. I want to know what would make me a better human being. Elijah, it isn't about being better. It's about being you, who you are in heaven's eyes. That will only come when you descend, become a child, trust in your belovedness, and then you can begin to be human. She looked to Elijah like she wanted to say more. But instead, she looked down. She smiled. It drove him absolutely bonkers when she did that. Bonkers in a good way. It was so attractive. She was so humble, so meek. She looked up and continued. Elijah, like an infant, completely dependent on their mother in the womb, so must we become with God. It's not about improving or getting better. It's about becoming human, being earth. Esther's mind went to the etymology of the word humility. It comes from the word humilitas, which means from the earth. Humus, the Latin word for earth. She knew that all Elijah needed was to become humble, grounded earth. For some strange reason, Elijah understood everything she said. But the word earth descended into his heart. He remained quiet for a little. He then pulled out the second card and handed it over to Esther. She smiled, opened it, admired the beautiful hand-drawn tree. She opened it. It read, Beloved Esther, how about that breakfast? I am hoping you enjoyed it. The next leg of our date, I decided, needs to be outdoors. I have prepared a picnic for us, but we will have to earn our lunch by going for a nice long hike in Gatineau Park around Pink Lake. The scenery is so beautiful, especially that fall seems to be very early this year. Trees are beginning to change colors, and I know the perfect spot for our picnic. I have chosen this part of our day because I know how much you love nature. Your love for nature comes from your love for the Creator. During our drive, can you please read chapters 2 to 5? I love you, Esther. I love you with all my heart. You're Elijah. Esther quietly looked at all the details of the card. She was evidently moved and taking it all in. There was a deep stillness in her. She took out the Bible and read chapters 2 to 5. She read them for the first time in her life, towards both Elijah and the Lord. It is important to understand something about Esther. She never saw herself getting married. She never imagined that she would love anyone in a romantic way. She always saw herself as belonging only to heaven. She had read Songs of Solomon several times, and each time was solely for Jesus. This was new. Although she had loved Elijah already for over a year, romantically that is, there was something happening on the inside. She saw in the Songs of Solomon something of her love for Elijah. This caught her off guard, but it made sense. This was all part of his logic for her life. She knew intuitively and deeply that she was offering her life for Elijah. Not just to Elijah. It was as much for Elijah as to Elijah. This little distinction is the very movement of Christ to the church's bride, for being determined to give himself up for the life of the world. Esther thought of that line in liturgy. It came to life for her. Actually, it was becoming her life. That makes so much sense. You, Lord, are calling me to give my life for the life of Elijah. In so doing, I am walking like you. In fact, it must be your love for Elijah that you are enfleshing in me. Habibi Yasathri, there is no one as beautiful as you. Elijah, on the other hand, could never have guessed what she was thinking of. Instead, he was still stuck on their conversation earlier. Humus. For some reason it really caught him off guard. He told himself that he will have to dig much deeper into this later. No pun intended. Digging. Earth? Elijah, you are ridiculous. For some reason, they were both practically silent for the whole 2.4 kilometers hike around Pink Lake. It took over an hour and a half. Both seemed to be captivated by the beauty of nature. Silence was only broken when one would point out something beautiful to the other. Elijah, look at this leaf. Doesn't it look like it's on fire? Esther, watch out. You almost stepped on Mr. Caterpillar. Look how green he is. Otherwise, the walk was silent. Before they got back to the parking lot, Elijah pulled out the picnic he prepared. They sat down at the highest point of the hike, looking out onto the lake. It was absolutely breathtaking. Mortadella, boursin cheese, a French baguette, sliced, a bottle of red wine, some black olives, baby dill pickles. Heaven. Elijah took the time to prepare little mini sandwiches for Esther. He clumsily spread the cheese on the baguette bread. She took in his effort. She was loved. She gave thanks for Elijah. An unknown yes was forming in her without her even imagining that this was all part of an elaborate plan to propose. They watched the sun set on the lake. They now knew why it was called Pink Lake. Stunning. It is strange how the sunset somehow always brings up thoughts of death. Esther thought to herself, is that why we pray the litany of the departed at Vespers? Not what your typical 25-year-old would think of when watching a sunset. But she was Esther. You know, Elijah, we are not going to live forever. I can't handle that thought right now. You are my life. Let's talk of other things. Please. Of course. My dear Elijah, you belong to heaven. He is your life. Lord, do whatever it takes for Elijah to know you as his life. Right when they got into the car, Elijah handed Esther the next card. He turned the car cabin light on for Esther. My beautiful flower Esther. Our last stop for tonight is the place of our first date, Vittoria Trattoria. It was there that my heart opened up for the first time in years. It was there that I knew that in you I found so much more than just a friend. I found in you that evening a confidant, a soulmate, a kindred spirit. I found my best friend and love of my life. That night you touched parts of my soul that were isolated for years. You loved me through my vulnerability. You didn't judge me. That night you opened me up to God. Though I am still so far, but it was your person that made him possible again in my mind. That night, I saw your great love for all of humanity as you hugged Animal. I knew that I had found the most precious flower in God's garden of souls. Esther, I love you with all my heart. Tonight, let's take time to talk about our past, our present. Let's dream about our future. With all my love, your Elijah. Esther took it all in. It was easy for her heart to store this information since it was communicated directly from Elijah's heart. Heart to heart, the easiest way to communicate. That evening, Elijah ordered the same thing that they did that first night. Chronicence again was defeated. Time as death died. Kairos ruled that whole day. In fact, Kairos was born in liturgy, and Elijah and Esther managed to hold on to him all day. Kairos is always born in liturgy. In Kairos' defense, he is available 24/7. So funny to be describing Kairos as in Chronos. Maybe this will make more sense. Kairos is always available, always pregnant with the potential of kingdom time. All this may be confusing because words always fall short when describing the things of the heart and the kingdom. They talked. They laughed. They got super serious. They wept. That night was even more special as they spoke of their future dreams. Elijah thought to himself, I would be the luckiest man in the world if I got to accompany Esther on just one of her dreams. Lord, help me. I am so nervous. Dinner was finished. Dessert was enjoyed. They got up and made their way to the door. He opened the door for Esther, of course. They stepped out and started walking towards Elijah's car. Esther reached out and grabbed Elijah's hand for the first time. Elijah almost had a heart attack. It was the first time she had so much as touched him. Now she was holding his hand. Elijah, I can't even tell you how thankful I am for today. Elijah couldn't breathe. He had been holding his breath since the first moment she held his hand. Elijah had been physical with Martina and Mary. Why was he having an internal conniption at holding her hand? Why was the fabric of his being imploding? Esther. That's why. It was Esther. Well, my beloved, there is still one more thing left for this evening. Elijah, it's getting late. You have done so much today. You have your big case you have to prepare for tomorrow. Elijah didn't answer. He simply handed her a card. He let her take it out of its envelope. Wait, don't open it. Elijah went on one knee. Now you can open it. It read, Dearest Esther, will you marry me? Esther's vision was blurred. Tears came rushing. Elijah was kneeling before her. He had a box with a diamond ring. It was beautiful. He was beautiful. She fell to the ground in front of him. She grabbed his face and through her tears, placed her innocent lips on his, and she kissed him. She pulled back. She was barely able to speak. She whispered, Yes. Elijah, on the other hand, had not recovered from her holding his hand. And now the feeling of her lips on his, though it was for a fraction of a second, wounded him with love and intoxicated him. Grace. Tears exploded from his eyes. Both were kneeling in front of each other in the streets of downtown Ottawa. Both were sobbing. Both completely oblivious to the world. They stayed up till 5 a.m. talking. They held hands. Kairos was victorious one more time. Chapter 35. The following morning, which was only 1.5 hours after Elijah dropped off Esther back to her apartment, he was back in the office. There was a big case they were working on, and seeing that he was on the lower rungs of the firm, a lot of the grunt work fell on him. He could hardly notice that he was being taken advantage of. The truth is that when one takes a day off, they only find double the amount of work on the following day. Yet, Elijah felt like he could conquer the world. Somehow, he was more efficient, more focused, and more productive on 1 hour of sleep compared to his normal 8 hours. The reason was simple. She said yes. That evening, both Elijah and Esther told their parents about their special news. George hardly noticed what his son said. Sally almost fainted. Mom, are you there? Oh, Habibi, I am so happy for you. Habibi Abu Sifan answered my prayers. I promise you, Jaja, I have been fasting Wednesdays and Fridays for the last 5 years for this moment. Ashkarak Yarab, Ashkarak, you would have fasted Wednesday and Fridays anyways. Elijah caught himself. He was going to criticize her. He stopped himself. Well, Mom, Esther is the daughter you've always wanted. George, why aren't you saying anything? Sally, is that the skinny girl? Is Elijah talking about the really skinny girl from church? Hi, Dad. I am still on the phone. Elijah could hear Sally whispering to her clueless husband. Say Mabrukia, George. Just say Mabruk. Mabruk, Elijah. As long as she doesn't get in the way of your career. Elijah remembered why he didn't talk often to his parents. Okay, Mom, Dad, I have to go. Listen, I want you to take my birthday off. I want to take you to Montreal to meet her parents. Okay, Habibi, please, light a candle in front of Abu Sifyan Saikin. Elijah hung up. His parents were clueless. Esther's conversation with her parents, on the other hand, was so different. They both expressed such sincere joy for Esther. They expressed their approval and their commitment to continue praying for God's will in her life. Before they hung up, they prayed together. She let them know of their plans to come down on Elijah's birthday in September for them to meet his parents. They were overjoyed. Nehemiah, Robert, and Gregory were so happy for him. Nehemiah and Robert couldn't wait to meet her. Chapter 36. The following weeks were busy at the firm for Elijah. Yet both Esther and he were in total bliss. They would talk for hours every day. They would meet for liturgies, go for walks, and hang out as often as they could. Elijah was nervous about bringing his parents to Esther's place in Montreal. The truth was that he was so embarrassed of his parents. Actually, he felt like his mom would be fine. It was his dad that he was concerned about. He lives in a different world, Esther. He barely even knows me. Don't worry, Elijah. My parents will love them. Most importantly, they already love you so much. This comforted Elijah quite a bit.